Good morning and welcome to More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily productivity podcast with me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant specializing in productivity. And this morning, Joris Minusvant, my regular co-host, is back to share his wisdom with us. Hey, Joris.
Hi everyone, thank you Anna. It's good to be back. I was traveling yesterday, unable to join. I'm Joris Minasvand. I work closely with Anna. I'm a business consultant and a technology consultant and a productivity expert. So good to be with you guys.
Yeah, definitely missed you yesterday. But you're here today, and today the topic we will continue discussing related to our conversation on Monday is progress over perfection. And our listeners and viewers, they might remember that one of the things we discussed on Monday when it comes to the Super Bowl is how the Eagles were going with like a few yards at a time, right? Like even 2, 4 yards at a time, and then moving
Hmm.
the chains ultimately. And also they scored a touchdown, but then there was a field goal, a touchdown, a field goal, right? And sometimes it was like
Hmm.
field goal and field goal. So it's they were not trying to score a touchdown every single time. Whenever they were in a field goal position, uh, they went for the field goal. And it really relates very nicely to achieving goals, to how we achieve our goals. And achieving our
Hmm.
goals is not about some kind of a heroic deed, something that like you do once and that's it. No, and it's not about pushing for perfection either. It's daily progress that moves us forward in the right direction, like consistent
Hmm.
daily progress. Because our goals, again, especially for the business, we're talking about something we want to achieve by the end of this year, and we still have more than 10 months left. And then we're also talking about a B hack, something that like that big, hairy, audacious goal that is 3 years down the road. So consistency and progress are really, really key when it comes to achieving our goals, because it's not just about setting them; it's about achieving them ultimately.
Yeah, interesting. You used the football analogy when they were the pre-game show. They were talking about Saquon Barkley. And one of the commentators nailed it. He said it's not a matter of whether or not Saquon will run. It's a matter of is he going to run 2 yards, 4 yards, or 40 yards to the end zone, and that's how we should approach productivity. Like it's not a matter of whether we're going to be productive today. It's a matter not a matter of what we're going to do today. It's a matter of doing it in the right direction and forward, and make sure we move forward. That's very important.
Oh, I love this. Yeah. And again, now that you mentioned it, I remember it. They said it. And
Mm.
yeah, it's not a matter, it shouldn't be a matter of whether you focus on the right thing and do the right things today. It should be a
Mm.
matter of how much and how well you do them. That's it. And
Yeah.
one thing that a lot of us, especially as business owners, in a way, the business is our baby, right? And we want
Mm.
things to be perfect. Like we want, and sometimes we can get into this state where we don't release something because we're like, oh, I want to tweak it just a little bit more. Oh, what if I change just this picture here, or just this text here, or this piece of code, or this functionality. Um,
Mm.
and we can get into this trap of trying to make something perfect before even releasing it, before even getting it out there, and getting feedback. And it's while it's natural, right? Like we all want to be. Like we put our I think again it was Steve Jobs who was saying about that there was this story about the inside of an Apple phone or something like this. How he wanted it to be flawless as well, like to be great as well, because ultimately, yes, clients might not know what's inside of the phone, but he knows, right? Like you know, and you put
Mm.
your signature there that this is something I've created. This is something that, as I said, this is my baby, and we all want it to be amazing. But there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance. And when we talk about progress and perfection, progress is way more important. Perfection is something we chase, but never achieve.
It's a matter of pride, right? We want to make sure that if we put our name on it, it's perfect and everybody can use it and there are no flaws to it. And that's it can be it can be functional, but doesn't have to be flawless, right? We remember, Anna, I showed you the post on LinkedIn about Bic, the pen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not a Parker or a Schaefer pen, but it's functional. It's simple, and since 1950s, it has not changed, and it will never change. Yes, Bic makes other better pens, but the first one they ever put out, which took over the world. I mean, we are from all corners of the world. We all know Bic. We have all used it. Even now, I think in our cupboard we have like a ton of Bic. When we go to Staples to pick up a pen, we're drawn towards Bic because we know it works. But if you look at the original Bic, it's nothing. It's just very simple. So yeah, absolutely. I think, and in the world, development world, what we talk about when we deliver solutions for the customers, we call them MVP or MU. Now they call it MUP, minimum viable solution, or product, or minimum usable product, right? It doesn't even have to be like viable in the eyes of the business. It has to be usable, right? And I think this is what I'll mention it and I'll pass it on to you to expand, Anna, the 80-20 rule. And I think Microsoft has been living by this for forever, where they create a product 80%, sometimes even 60%. Okay, they put it out there to get ahead of the market, and the market perfects it.
Oh yeah, and this is actually because we both come from a technical background, right? Like with more in data rather than application development. But even from there, like we know that this recommendation, once you are 80% ready, ship it. The other 20% you figure it out. And ultimately, with the 80-20, that's another layer to progress over perfection, because the 80-20 rule tells us that 80% of our results come from 20% of the input. And if you think about it, actually, every single thing you do, like every single thing you do as a business owner, to run your business, to achieve your goals, ultimately 20% of the things you do create 80% of the results. The other 80% of the things you do create only 20% of the results. So in a way, you as a business owner, if you're looking for ways to optimize and have work more effectively and efficiently, you can take a look at everything you're doing and really find out, like, again, I think we mentioned peeling an onion, like the layers of an onion. What are actually the things that make the difference? What are the 80%, the 20% that produce the 80, and focus, really focus on these ones, and not just for yourself, but for your team as well. So again, that's why, like, it's progress over perfection. Yes, you don't get 100%, but 80% is fantastic. And think about it. Like, if you only do 20% of what, let's say you're working 40 hours a day, right? So not a day, but a week, like 40 hours a week. Like, you are doing so many things. You work 40 hours a week, doing all these different things. And I know we're getting a little bit into like mathematics and things like this, but like, if you think about, if 20% of your effort produces 80% of the results, then you can actually work 8 hours a week and still produce 80% of your results. You free up 32 hours to either double down on the things that produce the results and actually produce even better results, or go and spend time with your family if you want, or take a vacation, whatever it is. So, and again, yes, it will not be perfect. You don't get the 100%, but 80%, it's fantastic. So definitely, like,
Absolutely.
perfection, it kills dreams. Perfection kills dreams, kills goals, and
Oh,
it's the worst thing. Like, it's worse than trying. Like, it's better to try and not hit the goal, not achieve the goal, learn a lesson, than to not even try because, like, you want it to be perfect, or waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for the day when the market will be ready, the day when you feel good, the day when whatever it is. Perfect conditions never come. Start today and make progress every day. Some days, like we mentioned it, some days you score a touchdown, some days you score a field goal, and other days you punt. But it's
yeah,
okay. And this is how we
absolutely,
learn. This is how we learn. This
absolutely.
is how we grow. And for the ones who don't know, touchdown is 7 points, field goal is 3 points, and punting is no points on the scoreboard. And it's okay. This is so normal, and we shouldn't expect, like, our performance day to day changes, and it's impacted by so many things. And we will talk about this in future episodes. But it's normal that, like, the progress doesn't look like the same thing every single day. Some days you move one step, another day it's like 2 steps, and other days it might be 10 steps. So it's really a matter of consistent, focused action, like on the right things. So yeah.
Right things exactly for you to. When I know we talk about weekly planning on Sundays or end of day Fridays, but in the morning when you wake up and you're about to start your day, try to identify those 20%, that 20% that will give you the 80% on a daily basis. And then every day, at the end of the week, you'll achieve that 80% for the whole week. And that could be the greater than the sum, right? So you've taken a lot of, like you said, Anna, work smarter, right? This is part of work smarter. Focus on not on the noise. 80% is a lot to be a noise. So it's hard to identify what's not noise, what's not that peeling that onion. What is the 20%? So spend 15-20 minutes in the morning to identify what do I have to do today, and what is that 20% that I need to focus on first, right? You may be able to finish that 20% in 1 hour or maybe 4 hours, but it's important to focus on that, and then the rest of it you can just do it as the day goes by.
Love it. Love what you were saying. And you know what's the best thing, actually, that once you, like, I know this is a bit abstract right now, but if you think about the 20%, when we get to what you do every day, like the daily planning in the beginning of the day, that 20% is most likely one activity. It's most likely one thing.
Could
So
be, yeah.
ultimately, the question can even be, what's the one thing if I achieve today, like not do, but achieve, right? Like if I achieve today, will make today a great day. It means that I've made progress towards the goal. And like, this 20% can be one thing. And like you said, it can take you an hour, it can take you 4 hours.
Yeah. And once you achieve it, important things without us knowing, important things are in the front of our mind, and they're clouding our mind. So once you get it out of the way, you can think more clearly. You can go back and maybe midday you do another set of planning and see what else is left. So it's important, and I live this, and this is again, we're all procrastinators, and when we talk about procrastination is we procrastinated the most important things, and they stay in our heads and they play with our minds. Identify it, get it out of your way, so you have a full productive day.
Yeah, and it's sometimes procrastination is triggered by perfection, because, like, I'm waiting for the perfect time to do it. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be great, and, like, I'm postponing it for a time when I feel good to make it, to do this thing, right? So very, very good point about this
Absolutely.
one.
All right, great session, Anna. I love it.
Me too. Thanks, Joris. It's really good to have you back, actually. Like, yesterday was so different without you.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is for today, and go. So for today, if you take one thing from the conversation, it's ultimately what's the most important thing for you today. Like what's the that 20% that will create 80% of your results. Yeah, we'll do this as well. Actually, every single day I put like the 6 things I want to do today, starting in that order, right? So go check this one and join us tomorrow morning. If you are watching us live, joining us live on YouTube, 7:30 on Plandor's YouTube channel. Yeah, and if you're listening on your platforms, the episode will be available a little bit later, like more towards 8:30ish Eastern time. So if you are in the Canada, North America, like US part, like it's around 8:30, and then you can figure out the other time zones based on where you are. And we'll see you tomorrow when we'll continue the conversation on Go Achievement and dive a little bit deeper into the next key lesson we learned this week. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Have a wonderful